magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
It doesn't take a magic mirror to know that the Walt Disney Studio has brought us some of our most treasured film memories. That Disney legacy owes its very existence to a little princess. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs set a standard by which all animated feature films are still judged, and was a major stepping stone on Walt Disney's path to becoming Hollywood's greatest producer of family entertainment. Walt Disney risked his personal fortune and gambled the future of his studio to create Hollywood's first full-length animated feature film. It was the turning point in his career and is today considered one of the most important films in cinema history. Welcome to the behind-the-scenes story of the merriest and scariest Disney feature-length masterpiece. The one that started it all, and still the fairest of them all. Behind the success of Snow White was the visionary who brought her to life. Walt Disney was a unique American genius, a great storyteller, artist, and innovator. In those days, a feature film was preceded by trailers, newsreels, live-action short subjects, and a cartoon. While Walt Disney may be best remembered for the creation of Mickey Mouse, the world's most recognizable movie star, his early accomplishments are equally impressive. Before Mickey, Walt had produced a popular series called the Alice Comedies, which were silent cartoons featuring a live-action little girl in an animated world. In 1928, Disney introduced the very first sound cartoon, the landmark film that launched the career of Mickey Mouse. And in 1932, Disney premiered the first cartoon in full color. For his advancements in the field of animation, Disney had won 4 Academy Awards by 1934. But despite the phenomenal success of Mickey Mouse and the animated shorts, Walt realized that only feature films would generate the kind of income that would allow his studio to grow.
I saw the handwriting on the wall early. Because as a short subject, it was just a filler on any program. I just felt I just had to diversify my business. Now, if I could crack the feature field, I could do things.
In the spring of 1934, Walt finally decided on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was a revolutionary idea. No one in Hollywood had ever attempted to tell a full-length story in animation before. The story of Snow White goes back to the 1812 Grimm Brothers collection of fairy tales, and even the earliest filmmakers had capitalized on the familiarity of the tale. This silent version is a film that Walt saw in 1916.
It's the thing I remembered as a kid. I saw Marguerite Clark in it in Kansas City one time when I was a newsboy. They had a big showing for all the newsboys, and I went and saw Snow White. It's probably one of my first big feature pictures I'd ever seen.
Nearly 20 years after seeing that Snow White, Walt was well established, producing cartoons in his own Hollywood studio, employing hundreds of people. One night in 1934, he gathered his key artists together to unveil his plans.
He gave us 50 cents apiece, which was a lot of money, the equivalent of at least $10 now, to have a nice dinner and to come back to the studio where he related by himself the whole Snow White story. He acted all the parts. He even indicated the songs. He had the characters. Everything in this Snow White picture was completely developed in his own mind. We were also steamed up, so enthused for this project that it didn't really cross our minds to doubt that it could be done. In other words, if Walt felt that we could do it, we'd better find a way to do it.
From the moment that Disney announced that he was working on a feature picture, people in the business thought, he's got to be out of his mind. So it became known as Disney's Folly.
We were told by all the big movie moguls in Hollywood that people just wouldn't sit still for an hour and a half of cartoons because the bright colors would hurt your eyes. Everybody get up and walk out of there. And Other people said, you're going to have gags all the way, and people get tired of it. Well, Walt was a better storyteller in that. He realized you had to have the pathos, the love scene, and the gags, and the chase, and all of the regular things that make a good picture.
I didn't know what I had or what would happen or anything. We had the family fortune. We had everything wrapped up in Snow White. In fact, the banker, I think, was losing more sleep than I was.
On December 21st, 1937, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs had its premiere at the Carthay Circle Theater.
Big, grand Hollywood premiere.
Snow White earned more than $8 million worldwide in its original release in the days when a child could get into the movies for 20 cents. That's a lot of tickets. In fact, it was seen by more people than any other film up until that time.